Good morning, everyone. So, for those of you who are here or who will enter, could you let me know if the audio is okay? Since we don't want to have the same thing that happened last live. So I think we are okay. Just checking it myself here. I think we're good. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, I'm going to make some Potter's Pink this morning. So I just posted my studio tour video linked in the chat. Make sure to check that out after the live stream or during the live stream. Whatever works best. So I know this is a really inconvenient time for a lot of people for me to go live, but you know, I'm making paint. So a little bit of focus for streaming, sharing with everyone here. Sometimes just works better for me than letting myself be distracted by watching YouTube or anything that can kind of distract me from making paint. And I'm not counting the chat because I think that is part of the job. So Potter's Pink is a lovely granulating muted pink. I quite like it as a pigment. It kind of had its return, its comeback. As the name implies, was used in ceramics a lot, and then about 100 years ago, it found its way into paint, but it wasn't quite popular because of the lack of vibrancy. But I think about a decade ago, more and more brands started carrying the pigment, maybe a little bit longer ago, and you see it now, in all, especially watercolor paints, because of the granulation. So as you can see, two things happen. The soft pastel-like muted color goes into a quite a deep earth-like red, and this pigment barely needs any mulling. I wouldn't say that's a good thing, you know, I like mulling. But it is quite nice to see a pigment work like this and, you know, be as smooth as a paint as it already is. But we want to make paint as high quality and well dispersed as possible, so we're using the muller anyway. As you can see, because it melts so easily into the binder, it gets sticky, like that thicker syrupy paint consistency quite easily, and it makes it harder to have proper control over your muller. So what we can do, just add a bit of water so there's a better control over your muller. Also, because of the thinner consistency of paint now, the amount of space between, I think this needs to focus, right? The amount of space between the slab and your muller is getting less because the thinner paint consistency, and because of that, you know, decreased room between, you know, where the friction is, you can mull a lot finer. I don't know if that makes sense. In my head it does, but so the beauty about this pigment is that it's actually already done. So I'm going to take some paper for swatching. I have a piece of paper here. Well, I can do it here. So let's have a closer look at what this does. I think we can use a little bit more water. It's quite a saturated pink on the camera, I notice, but for those of you who know the pigment, it really isn't that much. Let's make a little circle here. Just load a little bit more pigment on my brush to show you what it does with that. Hey Fifth Cat, welcome. Potter's Pink really is a very versatile pigment as well. You can kind of make a granulating red by, you know, since this has just such a low tinting strength, you can mix this with any red and it gets more granulating. Not like a perfect, not comparable to this in its pure form, or Yintico red, or any kind of cobalt, but mixing this with a red gives it a granulating kind of character. Giefel, welcome as well. I really like this version of Potter's Pink. Thank you. As I mentioned in my studio tour video, I do a little bit of research, sometimes it's quite extensive, on which pigments I use. So in this case I used a couple of different pigments from different pigment manufacturers. And there's a lighter version, there's a darker version. I noticed my camera has a lot of trouble with focusing, by the way. But there's lighter versions, darker versions, like this. Some are really soft, pastel-like. Others are quite dark and brownish, as you said. I really like this version because of the low tinting strength, but also it's quite unique on its own. For those of you wondering, by the way, here, I had a question from a customer on Etsy. I have PG10 as a pigment, but I also, well, not in my regular line of paint, but I have it as a pigment. But I also carry green gold, PY129, and that customer wanted to know the difference. So, let me have a quick look why it doesn't want to focus here. Come on, you can do it, camera. So I showed him the difference between these two, and it's barely visible. When it's wet, it's more visible. This is a little bit more yellow. This is a little bit more green leaning. Here it's also a little bit visible, but I also showed the spectral readings from my spectrometer, and they are almost identical. So I have this pigment, I've had it for quite a long time. I have this for quite a long time as well. But I tested a few versions. So when I got PG10 as a dry pigment, I put it next to my green gold, and it came really close. So I tested some other PY129s, and there was quite a lot of difference. So some were more greener, it's slightly greener than this, green leaning, like its mass tone. Others were way more yellow, almost a nickel azo yellow. But I wanted to be as close to like the original extinct PG10 as possible, so I kept my version. Only after that I used the spectrometer to like put them next to each other and see, okay, how much do they really differ, and I was quite surprised by how similar they were. So that goes into kind of the searching for pigments as well. So let me just get some pens. Taking that away. Yeah, it is slightly greener PG10. You're absolutely right, and even in its wet state, it's more obvious. So before the drying shift, before they kind of settle, it is more obvious that it's greener. But comparing it to some other PY129s, there's not much of a difference. Obviously there is. Hey Lana, welcome. Thanks for joining. So I started my, it was kind of, like I said, in the beginning, but I think I was on my own here. It's kind of a bad time for a live stream, but sometimes it's, for me, it just works better to do a live stream while making paint. The only thing that kind of distracts me, but in a good way, is to chat if people join. If people won't join, I still will be talking about making paint while making paint and nothing else, because it's less distracting than putting on a YouTube video or videos or playlist or looking for videos on YouTube, or maybe streaming series or movies or whatever. That's way more distracting than this is, so kind of a random time for a live stream. You know, the pressure of everyone watching, or everyone, you know, the idea of people watching, I think that's the best way to put it. That works for me. Oh, making a mess here, hopefully off camera, probably not. So Potter's Pink is a very easy thing to mull. It's a color you can get to know really easily. So how it feels on the slab, how it kind of works, how it melts with your binder, how it acts on paper, all those things. Like, you know, ultramarine blue, yellow ochre, things I suggested during my class videos or classes. Easy things, although, you know, I never suggest Potter's Pink as a thing to start with, since it's harder to find, and for me it was really this camera has issues. It's harder to find, and it's harder to find a nice version. I think that's the best part. It is quite late or early there, but probably late, since you're going to bed. 2 a.m. You know, my kids wake up at 6, so at 2 a.m. is like maybe rare cases that I kind of see that time on the clock still while I'm awake. But thanks for joining anyway. Yeah, you need really, you know, if you wanna check it out, there's always the replays, right? So please go to bed. Please don't be this like something that stops you from going to bed. Especially on Twitch. Well, I made a Twitch account a while back to kind of start live streaming, and then YouTube kind of improved the live streaming thing. Please don't watch this paint dry, because this takes longer than that. But anyway, I've been looking at Twitch, but for me it was, you know, everything was new back then, live streaming wise. Instagram live streams really don't work, at least not for me. I don't think that really works for this. But does it work, live streams on Twitch? Obviously it works. I've seen it for gaming and people who are painting, but for a thing like this, would it be possible? Maybe I can check it out. Maybe I can live stream at multiple places at the same time. Have a good night, Fifth Cat. Sleep well. Like, I know that Twitch has a kind of a more lifestyle live stream kind of corner. I know I can do both. I don't know if I can do that in OBS. I use OBS for live streaming. Yeah, yeah. So this is like the farthest away of digital I can be, despite the fact that, you know, there's a lot of things wired and connected here in my studio. Really, this camera has issues today. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. Yeah, I'm like, the last lives I was at 25 in average kind of viewers, with some regulars I think about 6 regular viewers that are here always when I'm live streaming the right time. But this isn't the right time. I know it isn't. Most of my viewers are it's either from Europe, so doing it in the evening after work hours, or the US, and you know, streaming at 9 in the evening works for them time wise if it's not during their daytime jobs, and for everyone from Europe it works because it's, you know, most of the people who watch these videos, I think, don't work at night, at least not the type of work that you cannot turn this on. And consistency, yeah, that's the thing as well. I've kind of enthusiastically started live streaming a year ago, maybe a little less than a year ago, but it was like, okay, I'm going to make paint, let's just turn things on. And it was just my phone, it was just the top view here, nothing fancy, and it kind of worked half the time, and other times I needed to wait for you guys to tell me if I was, you know, if everyone could hear me or see everything properly. Now it kind of works, but the camera, like I said, it has issues. Now it keeps working, so let's hope that works. Also, audio wise, I think we're okay now, I think. And to be honest, I actually love the little setup I could make with little tweaks. You know, I can do this, I can do this, I can do that, and this, and I have like a little close up here, all within the little stream deck thing I showed in my studio tour. Thanks. But that is just, you know, I bought it secondhand, so like someone wasn't using it. It was even in the box, in the plastic wrapper in the box, so it was new. But I gave that a try and that works, so I'm happy with how things are right now. Anyway, back to paint making. Yeah, and I use my phone. Like I had to make a short story on Instagram to give a heads up of my live stream while I was already in the countdown here, because I can't make stories on Instagram on my computer. So yeah, it works. 2 webcams, a phone, you know, and a little thing that switches everything between. It works for me. Oh, that's fun. I think it's worth it, but yeah, I know. I just like my workspace. I can make stories on my phone, but I can't do it like on the website. Can you do it on a website? I don't know actually. Can we have a look here? Ah, there you have it. So, well, no, there's that. You know, since you're here, which pigments shall I do next? I don't know, just name something and I'll see if I can top it off, or I can start it, or maybe it's just for some dots. Any suggestions? Everything's possible. Almost anything is possible, but you know. Yeah, I noticed a lot of apps kind of work on their website based or desktop version to well, I know TikTok had it as well. They released a desktop app for the streams, a studio. You know, it's possible you can have a lot more options, I think, there, camera wise as well, but I think it's a little bit like, you know, us makers, whether we make paint or art or anything else, they need to kind of keep up with things. And because of that, we need to keep up with things as well. Not a lot of the things stay simple or just plain what they used to be or what they were intended to be. Everything needs to include a lot of options, and it can be good. It can be like you give people options, and but it can be kind of confusing as well. I mean, having a reel on Instagram do way better than it does on TikTok, and on YouTube it barely had any views in shorts. I really don't understand a thing like, you know, if it's all based on what the audience wants. So the algorithm is like based on what their users look at. Then there's a lot of difference in the audience. On which platform that you can't log in with both? I mean, I know you can switch. Oh yeah, no, yeah. Well, you can use, and that's what I do for. I used to do it for YouTube, by the way, because I don't use my personal YouTube anymore. But I used to do that for YouTube when I wanted to see how a video did, or how it, you know, when it got suggested when I post another video, I just used another browser that had different kind of, different cookies, different history. So I could be logged into both. Right, that was my solution. So you could do that. I don't know what kind of operating system you use, but I have a Mac, and I'll use Safari for one account and Google Chrome for the other. You know, they can exist kind of next to each other that way. So that works for me. Hi, watercolorists, and hope you have a good day at work. Yeah, it sounds complicated, I know. Doesn't have to be, but it's two browsers. I mean, it's like two different icons, same function-ish. Well, I had a video on Instagram, and you know, the reels used to be kind of as short as possible, and that worked, and you know, people kept looking at them, and it got a few million views. I had one video that had like 6 million views, and it was a longer video on Instagram, and then the algorithm changed, and only some of my followers saw it. Then I tried the same short or video on YouTube, and like no one saw that. So It's really like, it's not only the algorithm, but if you don't have any audience, they can kind of throw it towards and see the reaction. I think for YouTube that doesn't work. For Instagram that used to work, that also changed. TikTok, same thing. My first 2 videos had a few million views, and then it just stopped after that. I don't know why. I tried to improve my videos, and then I thought, you know, it's not my audience. That's the same thing as well. I mean, I know some paint maker accounts do really well on TikTok. Satisfying shimmer paint videos, close-up, stuff like that. And I try to kind of go towards that a little bit, but then I started my YouTube. I thought, you know, no, I want to do it like an educational channel where I kind of build community, but also make a channel where people can go to if they want to know something about a pigment. Maybe I have a video about that. If they want to know things about making paint, and I try to kind of improve on that. So the entire paint making series I have, like the classes on how to make paint, I want to review those, see what I can change, repost or reshoot actually a lot of stuff, just to kind of style I'll do differently right now. I see I'm evolving there as well, so that's, I think, a good thing. But I still don't have an answer on which pigment I should do next, so let me know. Yeah, you know, it's and that's why I don't do like super long form videos. Like most of them are 3-4 minute on average, the videos. Yeah, I know, but I want to change that, Lana. Okay, let me... anymore, but there we go. So I think that's better. I want to change that. Is that possible? Is it possible to have like the studio mode? Yes, it is possible. Okay. Thanks, Geeful. Yeah, but like I said, I want to kind of make 2 types of videos. I'm also doing YouTube Shorts, but that's for like to be visible, more visible out there. But I post videos with just music, like you see the molding process, close-up, stuff like that, and the voiceovers, which are usually a little bit more into the pigment, about, you know, the process, about you can actually learn a thing or two maybe from those videos. And I want to find a good balance between those, because only voiceovers are exhausting. I mean, you need to listen to me during my life, so I think that's enough. But sometimes it just can't do without. The sea green one, I actually want to try a version with a voiceover. So now I have a version with music. I actually want to redo that redo that. I want to try a version with a voiceover as well and see which one works better, because I think it's quite a interesting pigment mix. But you know, PV15. Well, okay. You were the first one. Let's do PV15. Very good. Thank you very much. There we go, PV15. Let's have a look if it also changes on the... Yes, there we go. Videos with voiceovers do better than music. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. Yeah, most of the times, yes, they are. But for my channel, it's kind of like, if I'm looking at my content here, It's a yes and no for both. I don't know. I kind of need to figure out what my audience is doing with those. I think voiceovers, if they really add something to it, I think it's more valuable to do those in the long term. But just the music things, like I said this before, my girls like videos of Amaury Guichon, the chocolate guy, a lot, and his videos kind of same length, although his process has way more steps. It's way higher pace in the videos, but 3-4 minutes videos with just music. Some of them are voiceovers, but they especially like the music ones. And I mean, that works. Default, like you said, mulling process is quite hypnotic. It could be, and I think with just a music or a beat, or you don't need to kind of really pay attention, but just look at it. I think that could work as well. And just put information in the description for people who want to know more. So I'm kind of trying to find a balance there. What works best for me. PV15. So let's get that. Which was, well, kind of, that was, can we do that? Probably we can do that. The video I'm posting right now here, this is a PV15 video, as I made quite obvious in the chat. I don't know why I'm saying it still, but you can check it out later or right now. But keep this open, don't leave me. This is the right one, right? Yeah. This was kind of, for me, I thought this is a quite nice video about ultramarine violet. It didn't go that well on YouTube. So then I have to kind of rethink on, I had the footage. I had it for quite a while, laying there to be kind of edited and re-edited. But I thought it would take off better. I don't know. Hey, welcome. Thanks for joining. And Nicole, by the way, as well, since you suggested PV15. Thanks for suggesting, but also welcome to the chat. This was too much. Just for the view. I don't know. That really didn't make any sense. I don't know why I did that, but I kind of need to figure out what to do with it. You know what? I'm just going to add it to the rest, and I'm going to add a little bit more pigment since I used a little bit too much binder. I wasn't counting well, but there we go. Fix that. Yeah. I need to do that more as well, like reusing content or like having a purpose of spreading the word and stuff like that with content that I'm making during the lives. So thanks, Kifo. Same with Potter's Pink, by the way, but this is, I think this pigment is even more, I'd say, magical. Looking at this, and let's have a look if this is actually working. doesn't really want to switch, does it? Let's put this on and let's do this. This is better. So I don't need to tinker on the technical side too much. Just, you know, I need to, when it works, it works. So looking at this, it is quite comparable to Potter's Pink on what it does, from a pastel-like pigment to like a super dark, intense violet. But I really like how like it has a pinkish kind of shine to it on the sides, on the transparent sides over there. And it almost reminds me of Dioxazine Violet, but you know, it's purple. It's a violet pigment that stays that color in its mass tone. A Dioxazine Violet, as you might know, is just almost black on the slab until you kind of really scrape it off like that, and then you see some violet shining through, but it's way more fluorescent looking at that stage as well. Wait, okay, so you can still add chapter time in the end, and then you can link to a specific time in the stream from Instagram when you make a certain paint. For like link that specific time in a story link, or what do you mean? Oh, I think you kind of mean that. Otherwise, I have no idea what you're talking about. The Dioxazine Violet does overpower everything, or a lot of things. What I do like about it, that it has a high tinting strength, but also little goes a long way, and it has, you know, what I don't like about it, the drying shift. So when you think, okay, I have a super bright violet, especially in a wash where you see that almost fluorescent, very chromatic violet, and then it dries, it's almost not grey, but you know what I mean. This doesn't have that as much. It has a little bit of drying shift, but not as much as Dioxazine Violet has. I have been thinking about that, Geeful. But you know, I need to, my organization here in my studio, so pigment wise and how I organize my paint making stuff and gear, it's all, if I may say so myself, spot on. But when it comes to video editing, I shoot everything with my phone. Then I airdrop it to my laptop, and then they're in the folder downloads, and then they stay in the folder downloads. I just drag them from downloads to my editing software, and then I export it to downloads. And sometimes I think, okay, maybe make a folder out of this project and put all the files in that folder, so you know it stays organized. But I tend to forget that a lot of times as well. I need to work on that. I really need to work on that. Let's have a look. That's actually quite a good one, Lana. What I do, it's also, you know, your option is way better. I put my, like the footage on my phone, and I shoot everything in 4K, so my phone is kind of full at the moment. I put it in like a favorite folder, and then I airdrop that to my laptop when I want to start editing. So there is kind of a sort of logic behind it, but not so much. Thanks, Geeful. I really like and enjoy this this version as well. This is what I think like an ultramarine violet should be when I think of an ultramarine violet. But that's just my opinion. That is so way better organized, guys. This is, like I said, you know, I know I know it's one of those things I need to kind of learn myself. Teach myself, I don't know, get used to, kind of something that needs to get into my system. So I'm aware of it, you know, that's a good start, I think. I kind of need that still as well. But first I need to get monetized. I don't, you know, especially like how things are going now, I don't expect to earn like money for it. But YouTube has been playing more ads on my videos than before. And I kind of need to reach that milestone. It's kind of a thing that's like, I want to have that. And the thing, you know, I was aware of the things we needed. Yeah, I noticed that too. But I was aware of the things I needed for to get my channel monetized. And I wasn't aware that some videos kind of, I don't want to say took off, but they had quite a lot of watch hours without me really paying attention to them. And that's like, those expire in a week. That kind of put pressure on me. So realistically, hopefully, I really hope I get those 4,000 hours, and I can kind of apply for the YouTube Partner Program, or the extended version of it. But I don't know. Just I'm trying to stay positive with that, because I really hope we still get there. Thanks, Lana. Especially, you know, since I heard a lot of people talking and complaining about how hard it was and how hard it is, and I'm at like close to 3,700 hours of the 4,000, and it kind of needs to update. It's 2 or 3 days behind with the updating. It feels so close, yet I know 300 extra hours is a lot. So well, thing with that, I'm kind of, you know, organized enough for that. I have backups of everything. I back up my phone with the original footage, and I have hard drives for those. But so I have my original stuff. I have that somewhere where I can kind of find it always. But it's just easier if it's either still in your phone or in a folder, and, you know, keeping everything on a device is just too much. And yes, 300 hours is a lot. Although, you know, 300 hours, yeah, that's 300 times 300 times 60 minutes. That seems it like. That makes it more realistic on how much it is. Inland 3 in Violet. Gifil, do you have a pigment number? I'm not like familiar with that name, but maybe I... Yeah, but that's, Ilana, that's the frustrating thing for me on Instagram, since I grew quite a lot on Instagram because of the Reels. But I'm also very aware of the fact that those are either not very active followers, or just, you know, people who scroll through everything, like it, maybe follow, and things like that. And it's not community, right? So I see my like the real community, it's like 200 people out of all those 22,000 followers. It's 200 people who actively interact with stories, watch the stories, like posts, send DMs, not like the videos, not react on the videos, but finding 300 people who want to do that for you while having 22,000 followers hardly is like possible. It's really, really weird. Oh, I really appreciate it, Cyan Ink. So let's have a look. First this. Violets. PV36. To be honest, let me have a look. Need to make a little bit more room. Going to have a look if that's in my collection. 36, the indigo 8 violet. I do have it. A small amount, just for testing, but I never got to it. So I don't have any experience with it. Well, there's one thing I really don't get with YouTube, the shorts. And I know there's videos on it and explaining it, and Cyan Ink, I have the exact same. But I post a short, and most of the times it's like the short, kind of satisfying, high pace, a nice sound, things like that. Has no views for a few hours, then it has 2,000, 3,000, maybe 4,000 views, and then it just flat line after that. Posted the video, like a 5-second video of me making ultramarine blue with the sound like, and 100 views in the first few hours, then 2,500 views after that, just one spike up, then flat lined. Then another 2,500 views on that, and a flat line, and now it has a little curve to the top, but I really don't know on, viewer retention, almost 200%, so people watch it twice. So I think, algorithm should be, okay, people watch it twice in a row. They keep watching, they share it, they like it, so it must be kind of shared to a wider audience, but then it just flat lines. And I don't know why. I had a video, a short with viewer retention of 800%. So people watched it 8 times. 8 times. And it got viewed 400 times. I think, with 800%, the algorithm must think, okay, maybe it's worth it to share it with more people. Maybe. Okay, I'm going to look that up. I really want to know what that's about. I get the short I posted as a reel as well on Instagram. I get that those don't really do well. Like, hey guys, I'm putting my shop update online tomorrow, or I'm having my studio tour video will be dropped tomorrow, things like that. Just informative videos where I kind of share with my audience. I get that those don't do well, but I don't make them for that kind of specific thing. Well, I really would like to. I've already made some investments. I mean, I have the lights here, and the arm, and the microphones, which I actually really like using for my videos compared to without a microphone, and an extra webcam, and that little stream deck, and no, the software is free. So I made some investments, and I really don't mind doing that more. But we need to get to a point where I think, okay, it's got to be for a certain purpose. It has to have a certain purpose. And if don't see, wow, I really need to get a coffee. If I don't see things like taking off, or I need to look at the content itself. What am I sharing? What works? What doesn't work? I think, who said it? Cyaning, I think, yeah. You said that tech video. I have 2 tech videos, and like one was my this microphone. So it's not working right now, but the Rode PodMic USB, because I got it. I was quite excited for it. Because it's a real microphone. I never really had a real microphone. I had like a short shotgun microphone for my phone, and then I noticed that there was no YouTube review on it whatsoever, and I got it. So I did an unboxing video. Never done an unboxing video. Never done a tech video. I really, I didn't know anything about microphones. That was my first proper microphone, and it has like, I don't know, it's quite a long video, and it has like 4,000. Let's have a look. Views. Let's order by the amount of views my videos have, because that's in the top. Obviously, it does want to work with me. Oh, there we go. 7,500 views. And it's a 10-minute, 11, almost 12-minute long video. 7,500 views on an unboxing video. And people asking, how did you get this already? You were the first. And I think, okay, I'm the first. And that gave me quite a lot of hours. Your tech video is upside down. Oh, I love that, and it did well. I'm going to have a look at it. Well, I once got a tip from someone, make a mistake in your video. So people want to correct you. People always want to correct you and point out, you made a mistake there, and make it obvious, not too obvious. Make it seem like a mistake or something that just you looked over. And so I did that, and I got one comment like, "You misspelled," or I don't know, just a really kind of thing. I think, okay, that really didn't work for me, but maybe I did that a little bit too soon when I started. Nicole, let me have a look what you just said. We were talking about it at work yesterday. I think it's because it's shared to be a general public, not just say RTube, so it flatlines. Yeah, it's... it's true, I think. So I'm not as active on YouTube as I should be when it comes to watching videos of others in the community. I'm trying to catch up a little bit lately. But I know I'm not there yet, and I can't watch everything. Like I said, watching YouTube, looking for things on YouTube actively is way more distracting than it should be while making paint. But being more active in it would also help, like getting the same kind of followers or having the same kind of audiences helps with the algorithm, helps sharing your videos within the same kind of circles, and I'm not doing that nearly enough as I should be doing. And leaving comments as well. So there's a lot of things that I still need to learn or improve when it comes to not building community per se, but making sure I'm actually really part of it as a person myself as well, and not just being an account that provides like a safe space for people who like paint making or pigments. Because I need to be realistic with myself. I have a channel that is fully based on making paint and pigments, working with pigments, not about painting. My audience, mostly you are, painters, artists, people who use the paint. And that's where my kind of, that's my business audience for Etsy, but also content-wise, they are the same. And I kind of, I don't forget that, but I need to pay more attention to that as well. Oh, that's terrible. I notice my accent changes like every video. I'm really not consistent with that. I used to have, like, when I was really energetic and I had a lot of focus, I used to be way more British than I am now. And when I got like tired, I got more American, which isn't like, there's no judgment at all, but I noticed that my accent changes depending on how much like energy or sleep I had. I love that accent actually, but I won't make a comment. I'm glad somewhere that I don't have like this super Dutch accent when it comes to speaking English. Oh yeah, that's quite a particular. I don't know. You know what I want to say. Accent as well. Can we do like lazy? Yes, we can do lazy. Love it when we can do lazy. Let's have a look. Don't have water in there. I'm really thankful for you guys like being here right now, by the way. Don't want to get emotional, but it's just like enjoying your company. Well, I can do like I can speak English, like some Dutch people do. It has just, very plain. It's like you write it and you don't like you write it, but you don't. It's like hard pronunciations with everything. Like everything, it's not a th but everything and things like that, you talk like this. And this is really ugly if you talk like this. But a lot of Dutch people talk like that in English. It's understandable. I think people internationally appreciate that Dutch people are trying, you know, as good as possible. But especially when you hear like prime ministers or people from, you know, the football world or soccer, that get paid, you know, millions of euros, that talk like that, I think, you know, you can do a little bit better. Yeah, you know, put a little bit of effort in it. Don't just, yeah. I do like, you know, being Dutch gives you a lot of opportunities to adjust to accents. So we can try to speak with a very British accent, with a proper English accent. I don't do like a lot of things, but you can speak like Italian English or French English or things like that as well, just by giving it a little accent. And since we are used to some sounds, like we are used to some sounds, we can change our voices like this. We are used to using a French accent, or at least that's what we're taught. German accents, things like that. It's fun that you can kind of change that. And I noticed that some countries, or people from some countries, languages, don't really allow the change of voice or something like that. I don't know. I'm just overthinking maybe. Well, that's the thing. If you learn English here, I think it's more focused on the, I don't want to say it's more focused on the grammar, but it's more focused on how you can just survive instead of just, you know, properly speak the language. I think that's, you know, from Germany, I really regret not continuing German in high school, since I could have used it in the pigment world a lot. Actually, it's one of my regrets, that I think, okay, maybe I should have done that in the past. But I took French. I thought that was a lovelier language back then. I fully forgot French. If I memorize some sentences, I can sort of kind of catch up some words, but it's a shame I fully kind of lost everything I knew about German. But I always thought that the language wasn't like a very beautiful language to listen to. And when you're at school, you know, you need to kind of choose the lesser of two or more evils. So having an extra language, you know, Dutch, is as hard as it is, even for someone from the Netherlands. The grammar and I don't know, there's a lot of things going on. English is mandatory, so there's no choosing that. And then you need to choose another language. French was just, you know, it sounded nice. And I regret not having like German as a language in my package back then. I noticed, you know, being in contact with more people from Germany. I live quite close to the border as well. I noticed the different accents. Sometimes German is a really beautiful language. Sometimes it's really harsh. It's just, you know, the accents. And for Dutch, it's the same. People from the UK. I like, especially, you know, the environment I like Scotland a lot. And I love the accent, but I know it's like not understandable for a lot of people. I survive with most English accents, like listening or having a conversation with those people. But yeah, it's every country has those things, and I think a lot of people forget that. And it's not only accents. I mean, it's slang as well. There's you have the Australian accent, but Australians use different words for some things than Americans or people from the UK do. And so that's different for me as well, because that's not what we get taught on school. That's what you learn through interacting with people, social media, and things like that. So quite valuable, this actually. So as you can see, we have finished PV15. It's a weird thing my camera does, by the way, and I noticed that in my swatching video. I noticed that right now as well. There's like a gray border around it on the camera, and it's not here in real life. Let me have a look if I can show it to you. Like, you see, it's not over there. So my close-up camera, it does a better job than my phone does. Maybe, here, it's not there as well. But if I put it here, it is there. If I zoom in a bit, like that gray border, it is weird. No, I had it in my swatching video. I saw that I literally couldn't change it. So I couldn't change the settings in my camera, so I posted it as it was. But it's not there, so ignore it. Although you see it, it's not there. Right? That camera doesn't have it. That camera doesn't have it when you hold it up close. I don't know what it is. It is a nice color, though. Thank you very much. Yeah, but it's the wrong kind of magic. Do I have a 50% gray card? Oh, I do. Yes. Why? And gray. I do. I'm prepared for that, for those things. I even have something to calibrate my lenses with my DSLR, which is really useless for live streaming. It's weird, there's one thing I really like. I really like my phone as a camera, but the autofocus, especially the switching between lenses. So I need to use a separate app if I want to use my phone on my phone adapter for my microscope, because it keeps switching between the macro function and the the proper high resolution lens. It keeps switching between that because it doesn't know what it's looking at. And well, I have the C930 for my close-up here, and it actually does quite a good job. I have it on no, it's not auto white balance. I have a custom white balance, since this works. Let me have a look. Oh, it is on auto white balance. If I turn that off, you can see it kind of here, and if I kind of tweak the image a bit, this is closer to natural-ish for the violet, but not for the paper really a lot. So I put it on auto white balance, which works for the close-up shots. But the C930 is actually quite nice, since it has a wide-angle lens, and I like that for this shot. That one has a wide-angle lens as well, but it's a 2K. It's a 2K version. It's a Anchor Mates. which one is it? Anchor Work, I'm sorry, Power Conference C200 camera, which is, you know, good for those shots, I think. Could be better, but you know, I'm not doing any editing or color adjustments for these lives, obviously, so yeah. It's almost 12:30. So I think I'm just going to leave it at this. I'm going to clean up in the meantime. Are there any like more colors you would like to see? I'm going live tomorrow as well. I'm just saying that I actually planned doing a live tomorrow, but then I thought, you know, let's have a look who will join me for the chat, and you did, so thank you very much. Let me have a look. These are all dry-ish. Where this belongs. This belongs over there. So these are dry as well. I can refill those. I started a new plate for violets. Sorry, Lana. Sorry for what you're in the mood for, like pigment-wise, on what people want to see tomorrow, or what do you mean? Yeah, you know, good idea. Good idea. Let's do that. I'm also going to post that on Instagram YouTube, since I'm using that. You know, I'm nearly not using that enough. And this is where kind of the true community is for me at least. So, but I notice it's not really pushed out there. Nearly as enough, I think. So when you go on YouTube, you don't really see the posts that obvious. I think that could be me. Yeah, let's do that and plan a live so I can share the link and things like that. It will be during the day though. Still, tomorrow evening I have plans. But you know, for those of you who want to watch or join, keep an eye out on the community tab or a post on here, either YouTube or my Instagram. Make sure to check my studio tour if you haven't. It is pinned in the chat. Also, if you are interested still, I think it is it still pasted here? Let's have a look if it's still pasted here. This should be my ultramarine violet video. So you just saw the pigment live, but there's my video making the same pigment, making the same paint. So everyone, Lana, thanks for the tips. I would definitely use them. So you will probably see them in Instagram soon. If there's like any questions, I will leave the chat open in a bit. Thank you for joining, everyone, and hopefully see you tomorrow. Have a great day, and you know, I hear it's raining here, but everything's closed to have a little bit more control of the light. I hope it's dry over there where you are. Have a great day, everyone.